Hi, everybody. Well, it looks like the cruise lines just broke a record they wanted nothing to do with. That's right. It's official now. The cruise lines are about to break a record for norovirus outbreaks. Yeah, that's a record they wanted nothing to do with. They just had an incident on board the Navigator of the Seas that ended its cruise on July 11th, and they reported 137 people on board with norovirus, which is over the 3% threshold you need to report to the CDC. So it was reported to the CDC, and that makes the 18th. It's July, folks. We're only halfway through the year. That's the 18th norovirus outbreak this year, which matches all of last year's record-breaking 2025. And in fact, in 2023, all of 2023, there were only 14 outbreaks on board. So yes, we're going to break that record. I can guarantee you. I suspect that the ship I was on had a little bit of norovirus on the Royal Princess, but it hasn't been confirmed, or it was under the threshold, and not a lot of people thought it was because of the rain, etc., and the chilly air in Alaska. Maybe people just thought they had a little bit of a cold or a flu. So why? Why are we getting so many outbreaks lately? Well, one of the big reasons is if you watch, say, the buffet, and you watch people washing their hands going into the buffet, I bet you can watch 50 to 100 people walk by the hand washing station before ever seeing somebody wash their hands. It's like if I wanted to record and find an empty spot to record on a cruise ship right now, I would look for the hand washing station in the buffet. It's that kind of thing that's going on right now. It's a thing. It's a thing. And another thing that's happening, of course, is cruise ships are sailing more full than they've ever sailed before. Cruise ships are selling out everywhere. Everywhere. Just recently, I was looking at a cruise to upgrade my cabin. It was about 2 months ahead of time before I was supposed to set sail. My cabin was booked, everything's paid for, and I said to myself, well, you know what? Maybe I want to move to this type of cabin for this particular cruise. And I went in and I made bids to upgrade my cabin. I do that often. Don't usually win lately. Very rarely do I ever win because the ships are sold out. And then I thought to myself, well, you know what? The ships are always sold out. So I'm going to go in and just pay for my cabin. I'm going to pay for the upgrade for the cabin. And I went in to do it, and there were no cabins available. Right down from upgrading from a balcony, an inside cabin to an ocean view, sold out. Balconies, sold out. Mini suites, sold out. The most expensive suites on the ship were all sold out. 2 months ahead of time. So how many people are still trying to do that old thing of, I'm going to get that last minute deal on a cruise ship? I don't think you can do it now because I'm not seeing too many last minute deals. The ship I was just on with our group cruise, the Royal Princess, we tried for weeks to get Tony his own cabin once he decided he was going to cover me in case I couldn't make it. Well, if I couldn't make it, he was in my cabin, no problem. But we were trying to get him a cabin in case we both made it. No cabins available. Even on the ship, we asked. No cabins available. It is probably the busiest I've ever seen cruising since I've started cruising. Since the comeback from COVID. Since everything, right? The prime time for cruising. I've never seen ships so full. And of course, we're getting newer and newer ships all the time. We just got the Utopia of the Seas. We just got the Sun Princess. We just got the Aqua. We're getting new ships all the time. Carnival's ordering multiple new ships. Viking's ordering multiple new ships. Norwegian's getting more, another Oasis class ship, and then another Icon class ship. They're thinking on building smaller ship. Like, it's growing and growing and growing, and they're not really getting rid of cruise ships. In fact, when they do get rid of cruise ships, it pops up as another cruise line like Margaritaville at Sea, who just takes over the Costa ships and redeploys them after fixing them up to their liking. So there are more ships and more people sailing than ever before. So of course, the numbers are gonna go up. I think right now, if you look at the summer season, the average cruise ship is sailing at about 110 to 115% capacity, which means it's sailing fuller than a full ship. And how do they do that? You say, well, it's because any cabin that holds 3 people or 4 people in it, they still only count as 2 people to make that ship full. Every cabin is classified as a 2-person cabin. So if you put a 3rd person in there, that adds an extra percent to the percentage. So, but I don't think any ships are sailing under 100%. Any ships. From the old ships to the new ships, and it's inevitable. The more people that are sailing, the more ships that are sailing, the more norovirus you're going to get out there. And really the only way to combat it is the hand washing and the sanitization of the ship. Now the ships are usually doing their part. You see people walking around and wiping off hand railings and cleaning the ship everywhere. They're doing your balconies, they're changing your sheets, they're cleaning your staterooms, they're doing all that. The next part of that equation is, are we doing our part? And right now I'm going to say no we're not. No we're not. And I was religiously doing the hand washing station in the buffet when I went on my last cruise. And I tell you, it was like I was the only person in there. The buffet is full of people. We're having a hard time finding a place to sit. Yet miraculously, the hand washing station was empty every time I walked into the buffet. Whether it was peak lunchtime or late in the evening, I seemed to be the only one washing my hands. Yikes. And we wonder why norovirus is going to be a record-breaking year in 2025.